1 MP with a 200 watts output. Although I do have a linear amp, KPA 500, but I just fancy that. It's 200 watts at the back without messing around with any wires. But yeah, running the FTDX10 at the moment. The antenna is 130 foot in-fed, made by Vibraplex, the American version, and it works extremely well. But if you look on the map, I've got water 3/4 of the way around me. And if you look on that photo, I'm the one up front hanging on for dear life. Back in the 70s, I was crew on that station on the D-Class. Back to you from Golf Whiskey 7, Foxtrot Bravo Victor.
Yeah, okay, Steve. Let me just type it in. I was actually on my logbook. I haven't looked on QRZ, but my logbook interface is with QRZ. So let me just have a look. FBV. Let's see what you got. Fine on the DX10. Yeah, lovely little radio. They're very popular at the moment, aren't they? I've had this 101D probably 4 years now, something like that. Pleased with it. I'd already got a linear in place, which I tend to rely on quite a bit, to be fair. And so I went to, the MP version's an extra £1,000, and that seems a lot of money just for an extra 100 watts. So I went for the D version, but very, very pleased with it. And of course, they're much the same radio. But if you like the FTDX10, I'm sure you'll get along fine with the 101. No doubt about it. They're nice radios, Steve. So yeah, I'm just going to look at your QRZ page now, so I'll pass it back to you. By the way, your report is 5 and 9 plus 10 right now. Back to you.
Yeah, Roger, you're 5 and 9 plus as well, so no problem at all. Weather down here at the moment is sunny, believe it or not. Very unusual. We've had rain off and on for the last couple of months. But still, these things happen. It's one thing we can't do about the weather. It's a good job as well. Otherwise, I think the farmers would be very disappointed. Everyone would want nice weather all the time. But anyway, yes, I had a slight problem, big problem with this radio when I first got it. Feedback and, you name it, I was getting it. But I threw the mic away, bought a cheap Technofix mic, 18 quid, and it's worked perfect ever since. And that was over 2 years ago. From Golf Whiskey 7, Foxtrot Bravo Victor.
G000 kit. Well, that's a new one on me. I've not heard of that one before. But anyway, it sounds like you've cured it, and it was a cheap fix. But that mic you're on now sounds good. So whatever you've done something right. A great profile picture, by the way. That's quite an action shot for I would guess old school camera gear. That's got to be pre-digital. I'm sure of that. But yeah, nice. You obviously live in a nice place. Pembrokeshire. I've only been down there a couple of times on holidays, actually, on the coast there, and I know it's a lovely area, no doubt about it. Shropshire is nice, though. I can't complain. We're right on the edge of the Shropshire Hills here, surrounded by countryside, not too far away from the towns of Telford. That's about 8 miles away, and Shrewsbury's much the same. So we're sort of stuck in the middle. But in a small village, I don't know, about 200 homes, something like that, probably a bit less. I've never actually counted them. And I've been living here about 10 years now. Me, the missus and the kids have all grown up, and they've left, and so it's just us and a little dog. So yeah, it's quite idyllic, to be honest. And Shropshire is a nice county. Plenty of landscapes and sort of tourist attractions as well, Steve. All right, Steve, listen, I'll let you go. I'll just pour myself a coffee. Probably give out another call or two and see if anybody else is about on the band. But thanks very much for coming back to the call. Very nice to get you in the log. GW7 FBV G000 kit.
Yep, okay, well, just a quickie. I sort of born in Swansea, grew up in West Williamston, which is not far from you, till the age of 11, and then moved to Clacton on Sea in Walden Rays. And while I was going to school, got interested in the lifeboat. The age of 18, I got taken on as a launcher at Clacton, and a few years later had a couple of years training, and then came through on the D-class, and this is in the 1970s, and enjoyed every minute of it, but it was, as you can see by the photo, it was a bit hair-raising at times, but that was in the early 1970s. Anyway, 73s, all the best, speak to you again. From GW7, there, FBV, Cleveland listening.
Yeah, cheers, Stephen. All the very best. Thank you. Anybody else? Golf Zero, Oscar, Quebec, Shropshire. CQ 40. Calling CQ on 40. Golf 0, Oscar, Quebec. Golf 0, Oscar, Quebec. Calling 40 and listening. Golf 0, Oscar, Quebec. CQ. Golf 0, Oscar, Quebec. Calling CQ and listening.
Oh, now this is Seamus, the Cressage Commander, calling CQ on 40
Mike 7,
meters.
November Tango Whiskey. Not overly strong, but I'm hearing you. Readability 4. Signals about S3 to 4, I think, but I'm hearing you. Anyway, the name's Sean here. Sean Sierra Echo Alpha November. In the county of Shropshire. Reasonably close to the little market town of Much Wenlock, and that's roughly midway between Shrewsbury and Telford if you look on the map. Anyway, back to you. Hoping you're hearing me okay. M7 NTW G0 double OQ.
Now Sean is also a big fan of the Bee Gees, and he's modelled himself many times on Barry Gibb. And apart from his radio interests, this is a big interest for him. Anyway, we'll put him. Let's put him back on. Let's see what he's got to say for himself.
And I've practically got zero noise, so I'm hearing you quite well at the moment, Peter. I'm fine on your 10 watts, and you didn't mention what antenna it is. I know it's 10 foot off the ground, I think, but yeah, band being what it is, it's not at its best at the moment, I think, for Inter G at least. This side, Peter, I'm on a 101D at the moment, Yaesu, into an ACOM 1010 amplifier at just a tad over 200 watts. Antenna's a G5RV, and that's at about 12 metres, pretty much flat top, slight dog leg at the end, which just runs down the pole. And it's a dull and overcast day. Temperature's 3 degrees, but I'm just looking, fingers crossed, we've had no rain yet. I'm sure it's on its way. M7NKW G0OQ. Yeah, okay, Peter, good to catch you anyway. Thanks very much for the call. Listening 40, G0, Oscar, Quebec. Something Echo? Yeah, I know there's somebody in there, but you're very, very right on my noise floor. Can you try one more time, please? I'm hearing you shout QRP and maybe Delta Echo, but I'm sorry, I'm just not getting the call sign over. Maybe try later. Any other calls, please? Golf Zero, Oscar, Oscar, Quebec.
Golf 4,
CQ 40 metres, CQ, G000Q. Golf Zero, Oscar, Oscar, Quebec. In the county of Shropshire. CQ 40.
Oh, we got somebody tuning up here.
Golf 4, Tango, Juliet, Kilo.
There you go.
Golf 4, Tango, Juliet, Kilo. Good afternoon and thanks for the call. No trouble hearing you. My name's Sean, and I'm midway between Shrewsbury and Telford. Not too far away from the little market town of Muchwenlock, County Shropshire.
Yeah, Roger, Sean. Name here is Malcolm, and the QTH is Guildford in the county of Surrey. Your signal is 5 and 9 plus 10. 5 and 9 plus 10, over.
Yeah, thanks very much, Malcolm. I'm receiving your 5 and 9 here, 5 and 9. Not using any preamps or anything. Using an amplifier at just over 200 watts, Malcolm. But yeah, very good, very nice receive on you. And yeah, what am I doing here? FTDX 101D Yaesu G5 RV antenna up at about 12 meters and just over 200 watts, Malcolm. G4TJK, sorry, G4TJK, G000Q.
Yeah, all copied, Sean. Be interested to know if you had to spend a lot of time setting up the EQ. I'm running an FT710, and it's not too old, but I've had to spend a bit of time setting up the EQ parameters when I'm using, particularly when I've got the processor on, which I have at the moment. I'm running about 100 watts, just 100 watts, and a very, very simple antenna. It's an end-fed wire that runs from just below the roof to the back fence. In the middle of Guildford, it's very difficult to have anything at all, but this seems to at least get me out. G0OOQ, G4TJK.
G0OOQ, yeah, excellent, Malcolm. Honestly, you've got that FTDX 710. It's sounding really, really nice to me. So whatever you've done, I don't know whether you pinched an EQ pattern off the internet, or whether you've just done it yourself. But I sort of did a bit of both with this one. You know, there seems to be like a general theme with Yaesu EQ. The most of them follow like a similar pattern, which is, well, I'm just telling a friend actually, it's a cut, and a boost. Cut on the lows, cut on the mids, and a boost on the highs. So that's how I set mine up, and just tweaked it to suit. I set it up with a second receiver. I find the monitor function, it's okay, but it's not a real representation. So I did it with a second radio and just turned the power down on everything, you know, and did it that way, and just listened through a pair of cans and then listened to recordings on web SDRs and things like that. So yeah, compliments on the 710. It's sounding very, very nice to me with your 100 watts. I've had this radio about probably 4.5 years now, and I'm quite familiar with the Yaesu parametric EQ. I had the 3000 before this, and they're all much the same, Malcolm. Using an RE20 broadcast type microphone with this, it's on a boom arm, and I'll be honest, I totally rely on Vox these days. G4TJK, G0OOQ.
G4TJK returning. Yeah, all copied, Sean. And yeah, I haven't actually used the second receiver to tweak this. I just got an EQ, just a suggested EQ setup from the internet,
But I will try that. I'll just run at 5 watts and just have a listen. Also using SDRs, that's another good way of doing it, which I haven't done. I really must do it. But I wonder if you could just comment on the audio. Is it clear? Is it too middly, too bassy? That would be really, really useful if you wouldn't mind. And the other thing is, you mentioned a microphone there, and I didn't quite copy the model of the mic. G4TJK.
G000Q. Well, this is, to be honest, it's a bit overkill, this mic, for what we do on here. But any of these mics will, most microphones work well with the Yaesu transceivers, and because you can fine tune them. But no, you're to me, there's not much more I can say. I mean, your signal's not massively strong. You're around the S9. If it was, say, 5.9 plus 10 or 20, it would sound even better. But it sounds really, really good, Malcolm. I'm just trying to think if I can help you. Personally, I wouldn't really touch it a lot. Let me just set up. Is your current email address, is that current on QRZ, over?
Yeah, it's definitely correct on QRZ, over.
Yeah, what I'll do, I'm just opening up Audacity, and here we go, that's open now. So I can send you a simple sound recording of how I'm hearing you up here in Shropshire, over.
Yeah, that would be very, very useful, Sean, if you wouldn't mind. I won't hold it with you for too long, but that would be most useful. I suppose I better say something if you're recording it, but the setup is, as I say, from a suggested setup from the web. There was another one by a guy that reviews a number of the Yaesu, or the newer Yaesu transceivers. I tried that out and it just didn't work for me at all, but this one I think sounds okay. The reports have been generally, well, that's close to it, but it's just that sort of fine tuning, and because I'm only running 100 watts and I've got a very simple antenna, I want it to be as good as I can get. Anyway, there we are. G0OQ-G4TJK.
Yeah, well, I've done the recording, Malcolm. It's about 17 seconds long, and just remember when you listen to it, it's not at your best. I mean, you actually faded down to about an S6. So had the signal have been stronger, I'm looking. I've got practically zero noise, so it is a pretty good representation of how you sound. It's using Audacity, and honestly, when your signal did come, it did peak at about 5 and 9 plus 5 dB at one point. It sounds really pleasant to the ear. I don't think you're too off the mark with it, really. I only think it would sound even nicer. It's definitely smooth. It's nice and smooth. It sounds really, really good, to be fair. Are you just using the standard microphone, Malcolm?
Yes, Sean, over.
Oh, well, that's just... Well, to be honest, that's very, very good. It is what it is. It sounds good, over.
Just out of interest, Sean, what mic would you suggest as an alternative to this that doesn't cost the earth, over?
I wouldn't like to recommend any mic. I mean, these cheap Chinese BM800s, you can pick them up for a complete kit with a boom arm for about 30 quid. They're actually quite good. They sound nice, and it's a cheap way of doing it. You know, you get the whole kit. There's a microphone, a boom arm, and even a little phantom power supply. It's all in one neat package. Google it, look at YouTube. They're definitely a step up from the standard microphone. Malcolm, go.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Sean. I'll have a look at that. I think I've probably seen them, but never kind of lodged the name of them in my mind. But I'll have another look again, and at £30 you can't really go wrong. I think I would avoid the expensive American ones.